There's nothing worse than the NFL officials simply missing an easy penalty call. Sometimes they seem to ignore and forget the fact that holding, pass interference, false starts, and all of these other violations are in the rulebook, plain and simple. Here, we're focusing on blatant penalty calls that officials somehow missed. We don't know if they didn't see it or if they decided not to call it. Either way, these refs really blew it by missing an obvious call. I'm Justin Fraction, and today we present the 10 worst penalty calls in NFL history.
At TPS, we post videos every single day, so don't forget to click the subscribe button to subscribe. Then click the notification bell to be notified when we post a new video.
Number 10. Packers hold off the Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars looked to make an early season statement when they hosted Aaron Rodgers' Green Bay Packers in Week 1 of the 2016 season. Blake Bortles surprisingly kept it close against Aaron Rodgers, and the Jaguars trailed by just 4 points in the final minutes. Bortles led Jacksonville into the red zone, but the officiating mistakes began to pile up. On 3rd and 1 with 28 seconds left, watch how the Packers defensive back got away with a clear hold here. The Packers stopped Jacksonville on the next play to win the game. After the game, the league revealed that officials actually missed 16 penalty calls on the Packers, but that holding play was perhaps the most blatant, and it was at the most pivotal part of the game. Number 9. Tackle a receiver with ball in the air equals legal. The Houston Texans barely escaped with a road victory over the Washington Redskins in Week 11 of the 2018 season. They can thank officials for that. With Alex Smith injured, Colt McCoy came off the bench and tried to lead Washington to a much-needed victory. He found Josh Doctson open downfield with the chance to set up Dustin Hopkins for a short game-winning field goal. Doctson was blatantly interfered with. The NFL even admitted after the game that officials missed a blatant pass interference call. Hopkins missed a game-winning 63-yarder, but if refs got that call right, he would have surely made the much shorter field goal attempt. But yeah, apparently tackling the receiver before the ball arrives is allowed. Number 8. Richard Sherman interferes with Julio Jones. Atlanta Falcons head coach Dan Quinn surely would have loved to have escaped Seattle with a win. After all, most teams don't leave the Pacific Northwest with a W. And Quinn used to be the defensive coordinator for the Legion of Boom. Quinn himself would know just how physical the Seahawks can be, especially cornerback Richard Sherman. But this time, that physicality angered Quinn when the refs missed a blatant interference call against Sherman on Julio Jones. It happened on the 4th down play, and when officials refused to throw the flag, Sherman and the Seahawks realized just how lucky they were to escape with an undeserved win. Number 7. False start. What's that? The Los Angeles Chargers and Pittsburgh Steelers met in a critical Week 13 matchup during the 2018 season. Both AFC powerhouses were vying for the home field advantage. But as usual, a thrilling game was completely ruined by awful officiating. In the first quarter, the Chargers got away with the most obvious of false start penalties you will ever see. Now, that missed penalty didn't come at the most crucial time of the game. And it's not like this was a Super Bowl contest, but the fact that the officials missed the most blatant false start in history was inexcusable. Number 6. Jaguars get a gift, Ravens get hosed. 2015 was one of the worst seasons in Baltimore Ravens history. Injuries to key players like Joe Flacco and Terrell Suggs led to a wasted year, in which the Ravens finished with a 5-11 record. In short, nothing went right for Baltimore in 2015. Baltimore hosted the lowly Jacksonville Jaguars in Week 10, and it wound up being a forgettable day for the officials. Jason Myers kicked a game-winning field goal to help the Jaguars escape with a 22-20 victory. The only problem? The NFL admitted that the refs clearly missed a false start against Jacksonville on the winning field goal. That would have led to a 10-second runoff, and the Ravens would have won the game. Number 5. 41-second play clock. The Kansas City Chiefs and Denver Broncos always seem to put together thrilling contests. Their Week 4 2018 contest was no different. This was Patrick Mahomes against a stingy Denver defense, led by Chris Harris Jr. and Von Miller. But unfortunately, the officials really ruined this fun game with an awful missed call. You know how teams have 40 seconds between plays? Well, Mahomes and the Chiefs got 41 seconds on one of the most crucial game plays. Pay attention to the clock. The Chiefs scored the game-winning touchdown 2 plays later. If the officials did it properly, Mahomes would have faced a 3rd and 12 situation against that elite defense. But instead, the Chiefs were given that 1 extra second to run and play it, and it helped them win this game. Number 4. KJ Wright's legal batting. The Detroit Lions visited the defending NFC champion Seattle Seahawks in Week 4 of the 2015 season. This Monday Nighter was a thriller for the ages, but it also ended in classic Lions fashion, with a blown call by the refs. Matthew Stafford hit Calvin Johnson for what was about to be a go-ahead touchdown with under 2 minutes left. However, Megatron was stripped of the ball just as he was about to cross the goal line. Seahawks linebacker KJ Wright batted the ball out of bounds, and it was ruled a touchback. Seattle ran out the clock and escaped with a win. The refs clearly missed this clear-cut rule. A player may not bat or punch A, a loose ball in field of play, toward opponent's goal line, B, a loose ball that has touched the ground, in any direction if it is in either end zone, C, a backward pass in flight may not be batted forward by an offensive player. This is literally a case of the referees not knowing the rules, or simply forgetting them. They had one job and they failed. Unacceptable. Number 3, blatant holding cost Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars visited the New England Patriots in the 2017 AFC Championship game. This was hands down one of the worst officiated games in history. The Patriots were penalized once for 10 yards. The Jaguars were penalized 6 times for 98 yards, so yeah, you can tell where this game was going. The Patriots led by 4 points with a minute and a half to go. Dion Lewis sealed the game with a big run on third, but the officials missed the most blatant offensive holding penalty you can imagine. Let's take a closer look. I guess you're allowed to hold a guy when a trip to the Super Bowl is on the line. Number 2, Fail Mary Game. The Green Bay Packers and Seattle Seahawks squared off in Week 3 of the 2012 season. This was a thrilling Monday night contest which came down to the wire. Unfortunately, the replacement referees really ruined the fun of this game, as one of the most disgusting officiating mistakes ever took place on the final play. With the Seahawks trailing by 5, Russell Wilson attempted a Hail Mary on the final play. Even though it was clearly picked off by the Packers' M.D. Jennings to seal the game, the officials awarded simultaneous possession to Golden Tate. Thus, the Seahawks were awarded a touchdown and won the game. But the main problem here was officials missing a clear offensive pass interference penalty against Tate. Watch him push away a Packers defensive player, allowing him to make a play on the ball. Unsurprisingly, the NFL ended the referee lockout after this game, and the fans got the real officials back. And number 1, refs cost the Lions again. We had to put this at number 1 because it happened in a playoff game and completely dictated the outcome. The Lions met the Cowboys in the 2014 NFC wildcard round. Detroit was looking to win its first playoff game since 1991, and they were in prime position to escape Big D with a victory. Detroit led by 3 points midway through the fourth quarter. Matt Stafford threw a pass to Brandon Pettigrew on the third down, but he was totally interfered with. So the refs threw the flag, only to discuss the call and eventually pick the flag up. To make things worse, Cowboys wide receiver Des Bryant was not flagged for running onto the field to protest the call with his helmet off. That's 2 blatant missed penalties. You know the rest. Tony Romo gets the ball back and leads Dallas to a game-winning touchdown, and the poor Lions were robbed big time of a playoff win, all because of a ridiculous missed penalty call.
The new number 1. How could we not include this on our list? After all, it just happened, so they made me go back and do it. With the score tied and less than 2 minutes remaining in the NFC Championship game between the Saints and the Rams, New Orleans was faced with a 3rd and 10 in the red zone. Get a first down and they'd be able to run the clock all the way down before kicking a game-winning field goal. It appeared as though the Saints had gotten that much-needed first down when Rams cornerback Nickell Robey-Coleman made early contact to the head of Saints wideout Tommy Lee Lewis on an incomplete pass. Of course, the refs decided to keep their flags in their pockets, ignoring the blatant pass interference by Robey-Coleman and completely screwing the New Orleans Saints in the process. Because of that obvious missed call, the Saints were forced to settle for a field goal while leaving plenty of time on the clock for the Rams to attempt and to make a game-tying kick of their own at the end of regulation. And following a costly Drew Brees interception, the Rams were able to seal the game in overtime, only furthering the importance of that missed pass interference call. The call was so bad that even Robey-Coleman admitted after the game he thought he had interfered with Lewis. In the end, that non-call really did end up costing the Saints a trip to the Super Bowl. It doesn't get much worse than that.
What are some of the other terrible missed penalty calls by NFL refs? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.